guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're talking about what's happening right now currently with this government shutdown.
They said death. It was like death. And there's nothing about death. Theirs is death because they're going to lose Medicaid. They're going to lose Social Security. They're going to lose Medicare. All of those things are going to be gone because the whole country would be bankrupt and you're not going to have any kind of medical insurance. So with us, it's the opposite.
Happening right now currently with this government shutdown and how that is impacting SNAP benefits. Now they call it SNAP benefits, but I hope people understand when we say SNAP benefits, we're talking about not just food stamps. We're talking about all of the aid that goes to people who rely on the government. We're talking about, Medicaid. We're talking about Medicaid, which is completely different than Medicare. I hope people understand the difference. Now, what I predict is going to happen is that a lot of this money that is being held up right now because the government is shut down, all of that's going to be transferred then onto states to decide what to do. They're going to have to tap into some sort of money to figure out how to support all of their constituents. That's what I predict is going to happen unless they reopen the government, and then all your food stamps are going to continue. Because remember, when you're in California, it's a different name. When you're in Arizona, it's a different name. They have different guidelines to be on those benefits depending on the state that you're in. I wish people would understand this. So when I lived in California, one of the things I recognized very quickly when I was dead broke was that people who are from other countries and people usually who have no business really applying for these benefits were applying for these benefits. I'm sorry to say it that way. And I don't care who wants to argue with me on this. There were a lot of people on food stamps and Medicaid, which is, they call it in California, I think it was Medi-Cal, which is like short for California. But when I was on that, I was a struggling mom, single mom, my first child out of wedlock. All right. And things didn't go too well for me. So I fell on hard times and I needed that extra little assistance to get me by, at least until I could find a job that provided some sort of health insurance and I wouldn't have to be on this. Now, Arizona is completely different. When I moved out here to Arizona, I think it was called Health Choice. And basically, same thing, same protocol. You can get this assistance, but there were requirements. California, I'm telling you, the assistance there was top of the notch. I mean, it was like I walked into any doctor's office. I didn't have to do anything. I felt like I was, on cloud nine. I think a lot of people don't realize the reason why a lot of people stay on these type of government assistance is because of the benefits, because you can walk into any doctor's office. When I say that loosely. What I mean is when you choose a doctor, you're not paying a copay, you're not paying for exams, you're not paying for extra testing. All of that is covered. So think of the benefit of that on top of getting sometimes upward of $1,000 a month in food stamps. And some people out there, you're going to argue with me and tell me, no, I've never received that much in food stamps. There are people who receive that much in food stamps. Mark my word, there are people that receive it. There are people that receive more than that because they have multiple children and they sit at home and they say they have all these kids and they can't work. Whoever gets that, they do. There are people that they qualify because maybe they have some sort of issue and they can't work and they qualify for it. So let's continue. You're sitting on this food stamps. You're sitting on this, I call it welfare checks. You're getting all this assistance. Why would you want to get off? Because that is really essentially the bottom line is people rely heavily on the US government, me included. Let me give you a quick story back before I start the video with what these TikTokers are saying. When I was on food stamps, I was buying filet mignon, I was buying crab legs, I was buying whatever I felt like I needed because I wanted to use up all my food stamps. So they won't think, oh, she's not using it, she doesn't need it. No, honey, I was making sure that money was getting used. But my point is, it's not a long-term plan, guys. It's supposed to be for like, the time you need, the duration you need to get back up on your feet. Maybe you lost your car, maybe you lost your house, maybe something tragic happened in your family and you're in some deep spiraling depression, mental illness, and you need a break and You just need to pick yourself up and that's what this is for. And trust me, I am the least person to judge people on food stamps and say they don't deserve it because I've been there, done that. Okay. And I'm not ashamed to say it. Look at me now. I live in a 6-bedroom house, beautiful home in Arizona. I have 3 healthy children, one that's almost done this year at college. Things get up for you. Things get better. You live a better life once you start putting the pieces together of what you need to do and you get out of that rut.
If you are naive enough to think that the pause to SNAP benefits on November 1st isn't going to affect you because you don't receive food stamps, I want you to hear this. About 1 in 8 Americans receive SNAP benefits. In fact, in Oklahoma, where I live, that's 1 in 6 people. So about 600,000 people in my state alone, Oklahoma, receive SNAP benefits. About 1 in 4 children in the U.S. receive SNAP benefits. But you're not one of those people, so you don't care. But hang with me. When those benefits go away, just about $9 billion in grocery spending vanishes. So you've got to be thinking about not just the grocery stores being able to stay open and pay their employees, but you have to think about the entire supply chain, trucks on the road, people who provide food to these grocery stores. $9 billion.
Okay, her argument is that losing SNAP is going to be detrimental to the economy, it says, and to vulnerable people all over the country. Okay, I agree with the part that it's detrimental to vulnerable people all over the world or all over the United States, not that it's going to be detrimental to the economy. I don't agree with that one iota. Economies existed well before SNAP and food stamp ever existed in the history of the world. What welfare mostly affects is quality of life. Removing welfare or SNAP benefits won't destroy the economy, despite what she's saying. Economies are driven by production, labor, trade, and investment, not food stamps. Welfare mostly influences poverty outcomes, not the core economic engine. Food stamps are just not holding the economy up. If an economy collapses without welfare, it was already broken. It was a broken economy. At the end of the day, all welfare was there to do is to prevent suffering, not economic collapse. America has been paying for illegal people, like I said at the beginning of this video, people who come here and they take advantage of the system and they milk the system. We have been paying for those people. Okay. Like I said in that story, I would walk into the WIC or walk into the welfare office in California, and there would be people that spoke not a lick of English, honey, not even iota. They just fresh off the boat. And they come here and they apply, and guess what? They get qualified and they are going home with $900 in food stamps and free healthcare and all of it. My sister, who was born and raised in the United States, her dad is a, 3rd generation. He's been here, they've been here forever. Okay, parents are from Hawaii. They've lived in America forever. She did not qualify for food stamps. She did not qualify because she made only like $45 over the little limit that they give you. The threshold that you have to be at in order to qualify for these things are so freaking ridiculously low. It's laughable. All right. A lot of people who actually do need food stamps that actually are scared, just getting by, they don't qualify. All right. Because they make $100 over, $200 over, and they're somehow making it. They're somehow contributing to the big pot. But a lot of these people that are on food stamps are living the high off the hog lifestyle. They're just like,
we may see nationwide riots and Trump declaring martial law within the next 3 weeks. Let me cook. So,
guy's video, I saw his video earlier. It's kind of too long to even go through. Okay, but he basically is talking about rioting. He's saying that Americans are going to riot. They're going to get out of control. They're going to lose it. And he wouldn't condemn or he wouldn't judge anyone who's going into a grocery store and stealing groceries, and that he would join in. This is America. This is how people think, guys. All right. Now, I will tell you, there is something nuts about bandwagon think. Okay. Once you put it out there that this is the course of action you should take when your food stamps get snapped, no pun intended. But when it gets cut, or if it gets cut, that you should go out and riot and loot and take whatever you want is a wrong thing. Because even when I was on food stamps and they reduced my food stamps and they said we're cutting back and we're lowering the amount, I didn't lose my shit. I was like, oh, well. In fact, there were several months I didn't have food stamps because I had just made just a little over the amount and didn't qualify. I had to reapply. So my point is, this is a bad way of thinking. Is there going to be nationwide riots? This is setting people up and putting it out in the ether for people to go out and do the wrong thing.
Riots and Trump declaring that martial law within the next 3 happens. When you're hungry, all bets are off. Survival is not a subscription. You shouldn't have to, like, if you can't afford something, you shouldn't die. And I see no moral issue at all with someone stealing food if they can't afford food.
Okay.
My own personal experience.
That's his opinion. This is the one. Sorry.
So because of that video I made of my family of 7 living in a 2-bedroom apartment and me only paying $50, somebody on here was so miserable to go report me. Now they gave me an eviction notice for 30 days. So now I need a lawyer.
Baby girl.
Okay, this video is even funnier. Okay, she goes on TikTok and says she's only paying $50 a month for rent. She's basically bragging. All right, this is a braggadocious person claiming that she's living good. She's only got to pay $50 for her rent. She's probably on some sort of HUD or housing assistance. Trust me, that's one of the hardest things to get on. I applied several times over when I was dead broke. The chances of you getting on that is like winning a lottery. Okay. So I don't know what she's on, but she qualified. And now she's out here saying that you guys snitched on her. She probably has a page full of her out shopping, eating crab legs, like I said, and just enjoying life high off the hog. And they said, no more.
I tell on you. And don't you realize that the average American taxpayer, who is broke, by the way, is sick and tired of being sick and tired of paying for your shit? Do you know how jealous regular people are of able-bodied motherfuckers who go to the grocery store with hella food stamps?
Yes.
2 arms, 2 legs, a mouth, a nose, everything working properly but the motherfucker. So I'm sorry for your kids. So kids need to know when their parents are losers. It's humbling. It's good for the spirit.
So basically he's saying, girl, get a life. Get a freaking life. Moving on to the next one.
If 42 million people are at risk of not receiving their EBT benefits in the month of November, I don't think that the grocery store staff should be risking their lives for a bag of groceries.
Okay.
This is a very...
So she's another one endorsing violence and saying that the grocery store staff should not stop people that are coming in and stealing. This is a bad, like, just even opening a line with that is just tells you where these people's heads are at. You stole some milk and bread and cheese for your no. I truly believe if things were so bad, and I'm sure it is for a lot of people, because honey, I've been there, I've done it. I've lived in a car. I've tried to figure out how $5 would get me by. It's not a good feeling. And what that did for me, being in that position, was made me realize I never want to be. It's like that scene from Q Gone with the Wind.
God is my witness. As God is my witness, they're not going to lick me. I'm going to live through this, and when it's all over, I'll never be hungry again. No, nor any of my folk. If I have to lie, steal, cheat, or kill, as God is my witness, I'll never be hungry again.
Really, that's what it is. You know, I will never go hungry. It lights a fire under your soul to say, I'm done. I'm going to work my ass off. Especially like that man said, if you have 2 arms, 2 legs, and ain't nothing wrong with your brain and your body, you figure it out. You go clean houses and toilets. You go rake people's lawns. You go help the elderly. You go do the jobs no one wants to freaking do until you can get your shit together.
No mother or father is going to want to sit and see their children starve because the government is shut down. And for the mamas and papas that are worried about this.
And guess what the comments say about this? And I agree with people. Ain't nobody asked you to have all them damn kids. Okay? Entitlement is outrageous. I agree. Okay? This is a lesson. Never rely on the government for anything ever. Ever. In fact, let's go one step farther. Don't rely on no one. I love my husband to death. Okay? Love him. But if he wanted to up and leave me right now, I need to have a backup plan. And it's why I do what I do when I'm creating an online presence. Listen, you got to have something. I didn't see anything. This person's endorsing the nonsense, saying, yeah, go steal. 42 million is a reflection of clear abuse of the system. And guess who those people are? Once again, it's not even your hard-earned working Americans that actually fall in hard times. It's people from another country that come here. Like I said, I know this. I witnessed it firsthand. Not a lick of English. You've been in America long enough, you're going to speak a lick of English, even if you have a heavy accent. My whole family on my mom's side, they're all Hispanic. They all have accents. They can't dump their accents for anything. But they've been here 25, 30 plus years, paying into the system. I remember when I went on it, my mom said, well, this is why I paid into the system so many years. Was this one of you guys falling hard time? Honey, go get that health care. That's all she really was pushing me to get. She didn't urge me to get food stamps. So whose responsibility is it? Okay, the people out here or you? Most people on EBT work full-time already. Please go for big chain stores, not the mom and pop. So this person's encouraged them to, like, the people that are on here, somebody needs to flag all the people on here that encourage people to go steal. There's ways around this. There's food banks, there's food pantries. I can't tell you how many times I've tapped into a food pantry. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And like I said, go figure it out.
Hey,
okay, so this is
this is all that I got with my $600 in food stamps.
Food stamp talk.
We got leg quarters,
okay,
catfish nuggets,
honey,
2 packs of tilapia,
eating better than me.
Pork chops,
okay, eating better than
2 slabs of ribs.
I can't.
People across America are now threatening to go steal from grocery stores if they do not get their EBT starting in November.
And pay attention to the people on the screen he just showed. Pay attention to the color of the people. It makes me embarrassed to be black. And I can't tell you how many people in my comments tell me you're not black. Do I need to show my DNA test again?
EBT starting in November. People like this gentleman here said, I refuse to work for anybody. The U.S. taxpayers work for me. They need to help me feed my kids, and he needs his EBT. This man also said to watch out if you go to any of the Walmarts near him because he will be going into there very mad and taking everything he can. And this woman here even warns everybody to start locking your car doors. If you end up leaving your house unlocked at night or your car's unlocked at night, she said people that do not get EBT will be stealing cars. People across...
Okay, speaking of stealing cars, right here in Arizona, we had a young man shot just the other day by police for trying to steal a car. It doesn't end well, guys.
Mom, and I just got my food stamp. All right, let's get into this food stamp haul. Single mom to 4 kids. First off, I want to get into some of the comments I've been receiving on my baby daddy posts or my posts in general. What the fuck is funny? I think being a single mom is an insult, but at the end of the day, how the fuck do you not know I left the person I was with? He was beating me up. He was financially abusing me. Y'all don't know that. People always go off by what you post on here. It's just crazy because then they feel like they know your whole life.
Okay, but let me explain the problem here. Because remember, publicist is the name of the game. What you do and what you say on the internet follows you around for life. And it is a part of your character. It is a part of your image. And just her doing this food haul says everything I need to know about her. Woe is me. I came from a bad situation. But let me show you all the good food I got for free. That's all I got to say. You don't need to do this then. You don't need to do this. It's like the people who show their vacations and trips. No one fucking cares. No one cares. I can guarantee you there's not one person that's like, oh my.
Let's go to Costco, family of 6 that receives food stamps. Did you grab the keys out of the car? I'm gonna go look for trash cans because mine broke and I really want the side-by-side ones. So let's go see.
So obviously this woman is just getting food, and that's what the comment says. Abusing food stamps would be like selling them. She's literally buying her kids food. Look, hey, like again, but she looks like she hasn't missed a meal, okay? And I hate to be judgmental like this, but she hasn't missed a meal, honey. Okay? They look healthy. This woman looks healthy. She looks good. She doesn't look like she wants for any meal, is what I'm trying to say. Working Americans that have to go to bed with their stomach growling. I've done that part too, where I'm like, I'm over the threshold to meet the requirements to get this help. And I'm going to basically tonight, I'm going to eat this little leftover thing that I made. And tomorrow, hope that, somebody buys me lunch at work or something. And then it becomes almost impossible to get off because the minute they say, oh, now that you're working, you don't qualify. Some people cut their hours. Some people try to go to school and do other things so they don't have to work. Some people even go as far as saying, let's just keep growing our family. Let's just keep having babies. I'm telling you. Or they don't even want to get married because once they get married, his income is now allocated to this whole thing. And I'm not trying to like make fun of this situation, but I'm telling you, some people get so comfortable because you hear the thrill in her voice there. Oh, come with me I don't understand these food stamp hauls. Not that it's embarrassing, but back in the day back in the day, if you had to take out a WIC check at a cashier or a food stamp card in front of people and they have to punch in those numbers in front of people, it was embarrassing. But nowadays, it's almost like a badge of honor. Like, oh, you get food stamps? Oh, lucky you. Anyways, this whole video was just basically about me explaining that I just want you guys to know things get better. You're gonna have a good life, but you got to get out of the mindset of being on food stamps. You can't let it consume you that free is good. Be proud to pay for stuff. Be happy to walk in a store and be like, I don't even have to look at the price anymore. Oh, what price? Oh, I didn't even notice until I was checking out. It's a good feeling, is what I'm trying to say. To be able to look at somebody behind you struggling and be like, here's $100. I hope it helps you and your family. Let's get it together, people. Okay? Let's get out of the mindset of having to rely on public welfare for your life. Okay? Have a great day. And remember, guys, to please subscribe and comment for this video. I don't get enough subscribers and commenters. I think people just watch some of my videos and then they roll the hell out. Please help a sister out because I'm trying to work too, so I don't have to ever go back to that. Have a great day. Think for yourself.